Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're diving into the electrifying world of the Arc Titan builds once more that sure to shock, explode and poison your enemies into submission. We're talking about the perfect synergy between Stormkeep, the Monarch and the explosive power of hazardous expulsion. Everyone and their mothers know how OP this combo is this season, since you can jolt, build bolt charges, poison, apply volatile rounds and dish out explosive damage all in one go. So while this might be a common setup seen by all, let me show it off again once more, hero style. So starting with the exotic armor, hazardous propulsion. With this exotic effect, danger close. It states, weapon precision hits or thunder blows have a chance to load a kinetic Exodus rocket. Activate your class ability fires loaded Exodus rockets. And damaging targets with Exodus rockets temporarily increases the damage you deal with other rockets. One of the most recommended exotic armor to use with Stormkeep, since both of them rely heavily on activating your class ability as often as possible. Now, pairing this up with the Monarch is ideal, as it allows to gain precision shots at a more easier rate compared to most other weapons. So comparing the Monarch with Thunderlord for example, the Monarch would win this since we can pace our shots while monitoring how long our current rally barricade duration is and time for the next one. This ultimately allows Hazardous to operate on a consistent basis and allow damage from it to be more controlled when reaching maximum rockets. Our second exotic is the Monarch with its exotic effect Poison Arrows, which states, arrows fired quickly after a full draw become poison arrows. Precision hits with poison arrows stun the combatant and spread poison to nearby ones. The Monarch was chosen because it offers great abilities for poisoning targets over time with the additional damage it provides, while also interacting well with bolt charges included. The build can work with a wide number of weapons, so you're not actually limited to just one weapon overall. However, in terms of maximizing damage, the Monarch is the best when it comes down to consistency and also works hand in hand with Hazardous propulsion exotic effect over time. For aspects of Fragments, we then have the following. A Stormkeep where casting your class ability will grant you and allies a moderate amount of bolt charges over time. At max stacks, you can use your weapons to activate them. Knockout where critically wounding a target will increase your melee damage and start regaining your health. Spark of Ions where defeating jolted targets creates ionic traces. Spark of Recharge where while critically wounded, your melee and grenade energy recharge faster. Spark of Shock where arc grenade jolt targets. And Spark of Frequency where melee hits increase your weapon stability and reload speed for a few seconds. While amplified, the effects are increased and you gain increased bolt charges from all sources. Now I won't hold all of you here too long, as the build is pretty much similar to all the other versions that have been released before it. As simple as the build is, we will be using Stormkeep consistently throughout the build through the use of ionic traces created and overall kills we nab over time. Our Fragments offer the general safety and usability that we need for upkeeping our bolt charges for as long as possible, as the Monarch will be the main DPS weapon of choice that will be activating bolt charges as we go along. This is where Spark of Frequency will come in, as this combined with Dielectric and Volatile Marksman seasonal mod will allow us to spread additional damage, bolt charge lightning and volatile rounds all in one mighty go. And that is truly it for the setup, as all we need to do is make sure our class ability is available and the rest of the kit plus hazardous propulsion is active and ready against whoever we aim it to. You don't really need to invest any more around the fragments or aspects, as you're getting everything you need, and to be honest, with how much damage it already does, you can sit back and plink away at everything around you. For the mods and stats, both resilience and discipline will be the two stats to invest in the most. Resilience at tier 10 will be giving us a 30% damage reduction and a 22-second cooldown when using rally barricades. Current cooldown is what you want to aim for, but if you can't, then having a tier 7 and above is also fine, as you'll have ways to generate it over time. At the same time, when it comes down to the additional defenses, Arc and Void Resistance are the two most recommended mods to equip for solely this season's enemies. Our Discipline is at tier 10 for a 1 minute 1 second cooldown using your Storm Grenades. Grenades will play a part in the build to deal additional jolt and lightning damage to enemies nearby us. Ideally, these Storm Grenades are perfect for the area of coverage they provide, and the additional bolt charge applied with them at times can help deal with crowded enemies fairly fast, especially if it's a mixed group of enemy types. Flashbangs are also good because of their short cooldown and ability to blind enemies, but they are only good if you also have a good aim to begin with. I highly recommend you play around with them though, before fully committing otherwise. So to expand on the abilities being used, we have the following. Impact Induction times 2 for a 17% grenade ability regen, Momentum Transfer times 1 for a 12% melee ability regen, Orbs of Restoration for a 10% random ability regen, and Bomber for a 12% grenade ability regen. Now for the additional mods, we have the following. Heavy Ammo Finder, Reserves and Scoundrel mods for a heavy weapon. harmonic siphon for creating orbs of power via matching elemental weapons, a charged up for a +1 armor charge, a strand and void surge for a 10% strand and void weapon buff, although this can be broken up, a powerful attraction for automatically collecting orbs of power when using your class ability, and time dilation, where charged armor and weapons decay rate are reduced. Now, as we have covered as like a secondary weapon, I would then advise you to pick some super weapons for the build as well. What I recommend are all optional, so please keep this in mind. Our secondary is the Breachlight with Slice and Hatchling. Ideal if you use your class ability a lot. Considering we'll be using Stormkeep as often as possible, this will be perfect for weakening enemies while also being really handy against barrier champions as well. While most people prefer rocket pistols, I find weapons that offer these side perks to be more beneficial in the long run. On top of that, if you wish to make use of Slice and Power Grid Deconstruction together, then the Scatter Signal Fusion Rifle like shown is also an amazing pick to have. For heavy, we have the Scintillation with Slice and Firing Line. A doubling down on weakening enemies via Slice and Power Grid Deconstruction mod, the following weapon is perfect for matching the DPS damage needed when dealing with bosses of all sorts. This can be gone with Zavala, and does not matter whether you get a normal or adept version, as both can get similar perk combos and overall packs a heavy punch. Having Fire Line is recommended since quite a lot of your teammates will be using your Value Barricade once one appears, but if you want to focus on more personal damage, then Bait and Switch can also be gotten. Now, I mean, when it comes down to how busted Titans can get with Stormkeeps, this is how you approach it. The build not only makes full use of Value Barricades and Stormkeeps combo, but ultimately you can apply additional overhead damage from hazardous propulsion, and then bounce that damage even further with the monarque and bolt charges synergy. Like, seriously, the damage pulled off within the build is not anything surprising, as all we're doing is stacking damage from all other angles into one. But once we get everything combined into one, our results are incredible. And the thing about this build that makes it so interesting is that all this could have been done before the new aspect was even introduced. Simply using QS and Thunderlord is one of the most easiest and user-friendly methods that is on par with the current build like shown. However, our version currently provides more overall damage from the get-go, and no matter where you go, the build can just outperform even the most strongest Warlock and Hunter build that the meta has to offer. Simply put, the build is pretty straightforward, but extremely powerful to use in whatever content you have in mind, and before Bungie even thinks about nerfing the aspect, I would highly use it until the next meta defining build ends up showing up, like always. So there we have it. I hope you all enjoyed the build breakdown. If you have any thoughts on the content shared, then please leave a comment below, while at the same time if you enjoy the content and want more of these videos in the future, then leave a like on the sub right or here. I will leave a dim link for the build, and if you want more stuff like this, then I have a playlist available covering all types of builds you desire. It was great sharing today's video with you all, and I hope to see you again soon.